All right, so the Think Skills October Skill 15 is October 26th to the 30th. This week is still Skill 16, and next week will be Skill 17. Now, when you do these skills, like I have outlined here, you need to do the learn the math, to do the math, and in the independent practice and in the quiz. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by do the skills. Okay. Um, to get on it, you have to click on the long link. Whenever I separate this link, it doesn't work. Like I try to put it in the chat and it doesn't work. You guys literally have to click on this link. I don't know why that is the case, but every time I try to hyperlink it, it doesn't work. So you have to click where it says the puzzle piece to enable the Adobe. Hit allow. If for some reason that pop-up doesn't happen, go to your settings and allow pop-ups. But anywho, skill 15 was last week, ratios and rates. This is literally investigation 1. This is literally investigation 2. The first 2 weeks of ratios, the first 2 weeks of second quarter. So this is what was supposed to be learn the math is here. Then also do the math, and then independent practice, and then the quiz. So you have to hit the arrow.
A ratio is a comparison of two numbers, A and B, and can be written as a fraction, A over B. You can write a ratio in 3 ways. The ratio 1 to 45 can be written like this, or this, or this. Each of these ratios is read as 1 to 45. You can write a ratio to compare two amounts, a part to a part to the whole, or the whole to a part.
All right. So if you remember, some of that information is information that we talked about. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay, so if you go to second quarter, the first folder is comparing bits and pieces, notes. And I've been adding Google Photos to this link. But if you go to it, bam, right here on October 16th, I talked about ratios compared to quantities or more. I should have put or more. Using multiplication or division. Okay, so you can have a colon, you can have it look like a fraction, or you can use the word to. All right, so for the study plan, Pearson Easy Bridge, Math Excel for School for all courses over here on the left. The way they are setting this up is they actually have broken down study plan, all chapters, comparing bits and pieces is unit 2. So 6-2, as you can see, we have part to whole, whole to part. Then they talk about unit rate. There's also part to part, which is, I don't see it specifically on here, but it's always good to have different ways to talk about the same stuff. So yeah, definitely, this should definitely be a review. Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving.
Example 1. The world's largest bells are made from bell metal. In every 4 pounds of bell metal, there are 3 pounds of copper and 1 pound of tin. Write a ratio. You can write a ratio comparing pounds of copper to pounds of tin. There are 3 pounds of copper to 1 pound of tin, so the ratio is 3 to 1. The ratio compares a part to a part. Write a ratio for pounds of copper to total pounds. There are 3 pounds of copper to 4 total pounds, so the ratio is 3 to 4. The ratio compares a part to a whole. Write a ratio for total pounds to pounds of tin. Drag your answer.
All right. Order matters, like specifically what they're asking for first and what they're asking for second matters. Order matters with ratios, order matters with division, and order matters with subtraction. So you have to look at what they're saying part to part. It said 3 pounds of copper, 1 pound of tin. So all metal would be the total. But if they're specifically just saying copper, that's a part. If they're specifically asking about tin, that's a part. So this is a part to part ratio. Down here, part to whole. They want to know copper, which is part. The total Bell metals is 4. So 3 over 4 is a part to whole ratio. Now, what are they asking me for this one? Total pounds. So what would be the total pounds? 4, right? To the 10. And how many 10 is 1? So this answer should be 4 to 1.
That's right. The correct answer is 4 to 1.
The ratio compares a whole to a part. Equivalent ratios are ratios that name the same comparison. Example 2. Write 3 equivalent ratios to compare the number of stars to the number of stripes. The ratio of the number of stars to the number of stripes is 6 to 9. To find an equivalent ratio, you can divide both terms by a common factor, or you can multiply both terms by the same number.
Click each ratio to find an equivalent ratio.
So this is very similar to our notes. If you guys see here, we talked about scaling up and scaling down. That was on October 27th. You can scale up by using multiplication and get an equivalent ratio. You can scale down by using division and get an equivalent ratio. So we literally just talked about this last week. All right.
Dividing both terms in the ratio by 3 results in a ratio of 2 to 3. Multiplying both terms in the ratio by 2 results in a ratio of 12 to 18. So, 6/9, 2/3, and 12/18 are equivalent ratios comparing stars to stripes.
So equivalent ratio means all of these representations are talking about the same amount of stuff. It's the same amount. So 6 over 9 means you have 9 pieces and 6, okay? But if you scale down, our pieces get larger. So we only need 2 of them. But if you scale up, our pieces got smaller. So you need to get 12 of them. But these all are equivalent ratios. They represent the same stuff.
A rate is a ratio that compares 2 quantities having different units of measure.
I didn't hear you.
Suppose 24 ounces of cereal costs $4.32. The rate is the ratio of price to weight, which is $4.32 to 24 ounces. A unit rate is a rate that has 1 unit as its second term. To find the unit rate for this ratio, divide both terms by 24.
What is the unit rate? Click the arrow to select your answer.
All right, it is per 1, okay? So we talked about this in our notes. What day was that, Ms. Lee? Per 1. Last week it was you need at least 6. So we're starting on the 3rd investigation. So need to have at least 8 to keep up. Per one. When did I talk about unit rate? Oh, that was a Jamboard. That was what a Jamboard that we did that. I need to put that on. So on this Jamboard, we talked about per serving or per mile or per anything. It doesn't have a 1 there. It's like a phantom 1 that you can't see, but it means 1. It means, which is called the unit rate. Okay. So did we do unit rate stuff? Yeah, here we go. We talked about calories per 4 serving. So to figure out how much per 1 serving or per serving, you had to find the unit rate. Divide by 4, the top and the bottom, and you got 16 calories per serving. That's not a unit rate. Here's a unit rate. We needed to find out how many miles per gallon. The only information we had was per 24 gallons, so then we had to divide by 24, top and bottom. The answer was 16 miles per 1 gallon. All right, $4.32 divided by 24. I do not know that off the top of my head, so let me pull up my calculator. I mean, if I had paper and pencil, I can figure it out because I know how to divide decimals, but that's next unit. 432. Remember, fraction bar means division, so divided by 24. 18 cents. Huh?
When it doesn't have Julie, that's great. To get Julie to answer the video, I have to put it in the chat.
All right.
That's right. This is the correct answer.
So, the unit rate for the cereal is 18 cents per ounce.
All
A
right.
mixture of paint contains 2 gallons of
So
white
I have
paint
just completed
and
the
5
learn the
gallons of
math.
blue paint.
You are
Which is the
responsible
ratio
for
of
the do
gallons
the
of
math.
white paint to
You
total
are
gallons
responsible
of
for the
paint?
independent practice.
Click your answer.
You are responsible for the quiz. So go ahead and get to the link. Click on Skill 15. I'll put this in YouTube so you guys can see the video if you would like.